I'll explain. I've been drinking every day since Saturday. I'll explain.
Well, you're on YouTube right now, so you have to explain. Welcome, everybody. We're about to go live here on the radio. You heard me on the radio.
There was a time when the world turned their back on men. Men with a dream and savage yearning within them. Legions compelled by passion that knows no boundaries. A consuming flame that defies plausible explanation. Battling the forces of domestication, they find the courage to band together to experience the awesome power of big men.
I say this with all due respect.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Tonight's broadcast of The Masculine Feminist has been commandeered by the secret society No Ma'am.
Gotta go to a place where I get a shot and a beer, steak, man. Saying we can stop, get pancakes, and then we'll get laid, all right?
Why do you drink ice cold beer on a hot day?
Mr. Clement, what else are you gonna do with it?
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
The Yankees are champions of baseball! It's a hard one goal!
This is Cave Crew Radio.
Ha ha! Indeed, it is Cave Crew Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for another edition of our little wonderful show that we do down in our caves where the wives keep us hidden and far away from anyone to see. I'm extremely irritated about a lot of stuff this week, but I really don't have a lot to talk about. So I am DK. I am from Windsor, Ontario, Canada, and I am residing in my cave. But I am very interested to talk to the true King of Queens, Big B, to tell me for the first time in weeks, he's not eating on air. He usually rushes home. And are you partaking in like Ramadan?
No, I did rush home though.
Why aren't you eating? Are you on a fast?
I am not. So, first of all, live from Queens, New York, I am Sir Big B, and I've been inebriated to one extent or another every day since Saturday.
Oh my God, do I envy you? I am so stressed out. I can't get enough. My wife, you buying more beer? No, you know what? The beer ain't working anymore, sweetie. I need to inject myself with Slivovites.
Slivovites.
Yes, that's the stuff the Serbian guy drinks next door. It's
nice.
It's like moonshine.
Yeah, I heard all about that on one of my days of drinking. So it started Saturday. We had a birthday party for a friend of ours, so we went over by his house. There was a big barbecue, and we just drank.
Do you remember what was served on the barbecue, or was it burnt?
Oh yeah, it was steaks and burgers and dogs. And,
did you eat anything?
Oh yeah. A lot of eating, a lot of drinking.
Remember the question we got in that email about 7 shows ago? Did you throw up?
No, I did not throw up. I haven't thrown. Like I said, I've been inebriated to one extent or another since Saturday, but I haven't been fall down drunk.
So you were inebriated on Saturday. Yes. Sunday comes. You've obviously left the barbecue. The wife called Uber, and you went home.
Oh, it was only a couple of blocks away, so we could walk.
So you stumbled.
Yeah, wandered home. So Sunday came, and my neighbor was having a party, invited me to have a few drinks with him.
Don't you love that?
It's,
When your bone dry, there's nothing left in your fridge, and the neighbor said, "Would you like one?" Just one.
Sure.
I'll join you.
So that's where I learned about what did you call it? The Serbian
Slivovitz. It's like
Slivovitz, yes. So my neighbor is Serbian. So he was telling me all about the moonshine. I did not partake. I was just drinking beer. But yes, I was outside for hours drinking. Then Monday, obviously, is Memorial Day here in the U.S. So there's barbecues. It's the unofficial start of summer. So you're drinking all day, having barbecues and going from place to place. Tuesday is the metal show.
You're a chihuahua barking in the background, and I break its neck. It's like, fuck's sakes. My wife is probably standing right outside the door talking to someone. She knows it's fucking show night. Anyway, so why didn't you try the moonshine?
I just wasn't, I was drinking Saturday, still a little hungover, drinking Sunday. I didn't feel I could handle moonshine. So I was just give me beer. I'll drink the beer. I'm done.
All right. And before we go anywhere else, because we have more people joining the show tonight. And by the way, folks, we're going to have a great time tonight. How many bottles have we gone through of the fucking scotch? Have we gone through any more? Or?
No, we're still at 9.
We're drinking everybody else's fucking booze.
Well, yeah. I mean, this past week, Tuesday comes the metal show. We drink beer. We have some more whiskey. Yesterday, we have people leaving our job after years being there. So we went out and had a party.
Oh, you had the big layoff. Yeah, you were telling us that.
Yeah. So yesterday was the official day. Everybody left. So we had a party for those who were leaving. We all went out and had drinks. Today
for those poor souls, did you bring them a Mildred Mildew doll?
I don't even know what the hell that is.
Last week we were talking about it.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Remember the doll that now is intelligent and
that thing. No, I didn't know.
I'm gonna kill this fucking dog, people. I swear to God. I you know me, I love animals. The dog is a rescue, but guess what? He's gonna be rescued into the fucking dumpster in a minute.
So anyway. Today, my boss decided we'll go to his place in the city. We'll go to go to his rooftop. They have the rooftop barbecue. So kind of just to get away from the office with all the awfulness that went on. So we had some burgers, hot dogs, drinks, and then I rushed home to come here.
I find that mostly you probably didn't have a burger or a hot dog. You were just generally after those drinks.
I had one burger and one hot dog.
Don't you love the bosses though? When I appreciate how hard you guys work, and I think you, me, and Stu all live in a similar size house, and you go to the boss's house, and they have cleaning ladies and probably butlers and they serve you burgers and fucking hot dogs.
Well, you know what?
Do is put prime rib on the fucking smoker.
Hey, you know what? I went with them. It was great just to be in Manhattan on a rooftop, hanging out, barbecuing. He bought, whiskey, he bought, all the food and all that. So, I went with him to go to the store before we went to his place. He's spending a couple $100 on booze and
now, did he say to you, is there anything you need?
No.
He didn't ask you that?
No.
Okay.
That might have been later on in the night when the drinks were flowing more, but I had to leave to come here.
Now, did you bring Mrs. B? I know we got to transpire over, but this is fascinating me right now.
I did not bring Mrs.
I love your life. I envy you so much. I live in a really small town in Canada, and if I was on someone's roof, I'm pretty sure we'd be looking over some oak trees or something. Like, I don't think we'd see anything.
We were in the middle of Manhattan, looking over at the Empire State Building, the Freedom Tower, Chrysler Building.
Now let's go back to remember that movie, The Warriors?
Of course.
Right. What is Manhattan in regards to Queens?
What do you mean?
Like you said, oh my God, I'm in Manhattan. I always thought Queens was like a pretty cool.
Well, it's the 5 boroughs, right? So you got Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx, and Staten Island. Queens, I guess you could say Queens is kind of a suburb of Manhattan. Manhattan is the city. Look at Manhattan's like Toronto. You know, to relate it to you, Manhattan's like Toronto. It's a big city. It's where everybody goes to work. It's got all the famous buildings in it. Like I said, you know, we were overlooking on the rooftop. I could look out and see the Freedom Tower, the Empire State Building, Chrysler Building, and so forth. So Manhattan is the center of the universe, as a lot of people like to call it.
I thought the Chrysler Building was in Detroit.
No, the Chrysler Building is in Manhattan.
Is in Manhattan, and also the home of the Islanders, the Hartford Islanders, or no?
The Islanders are in Brooklyn, right?
Oh, Brooklyn. Okay. All right. Listen, hang on. You got to give me a second here.
Sure.
We have a few more people we got to talk to, and while you guys are talking, I'm gonna go massacre a freaking dog. Hang on a minute.
Well, while you go, there you go.
Okay, bring him in.
Do I hear London calling?
I sure as fuck hope so.
I hope so too.
Good evening. I was just imagining DK running around his house chasing this little what is it, a Shih Tzu or whatever it is.
I don't mean to take away your I mean, this is your minute of fame, and we'll go back. But here, I guarantee you, I am sitting downstairs in my cave, and here's what's going on. One dog is already outside.
Mm-hmm.
The son and the wife are outside talking to a neighbor or doing something, and they're torturing this little chihuahua. And
it's probably jumping up at the window or something at the door, is it? Trying
with my age, Choo Choo, it does something to my, I don't know what that nerve that goes down your neck is. But anyway, Stu, what's going on? We missed you last week. You were away. You were away.
Choo Choo. It's London. This is where I am. And yeah, I was away last week. I think I had to get up early the next morning, so I couldn't burn the candle at both ends.
I love Big B. I know not everyone watches on video, so part of the thing of radio is explaining to people. But I love how he menage a trois the Canadian and the American and the British flag. It's like one big fucking orgy of democracy.
Well, I want to know, is this the same room? Because this looks like a completely different room in his house now.
No, I'm in the white room, but I think I've got the camera. Well, where am I? Yeah, no, it's the same room. It is the same room. I thought I had the camera at a different angle or something, but I'm in the white room.
Now, DK, do you have names of rooms in your house? Like Stu has the white room. He's in the parlor. He's whatever.
I've got Ken, you're a slob room. Why do you always use the towel there? Your underwear is on the floor again. And yeah, you know, as wasted as you were over all these days, I could find myself around this house. Stu, what I'd like you to do, because you've been a guest on our guest show, and folks, listen, we're on a roll here. Who was the guy from New York, Big B? Who was the guy we had?
Patrick Henry.
Patrick Henry was an absolute hoot. He was greasing the pig. And then last week we had the man of 1,000 voices, Matt Vanderpool, telling us about toilets on a cruise ship. Yeah, wait to hear what our guest is going to divulge us into this week. But
there's a lot to live up to.
Yes, Stu, you have been on his show, so I'm going to put the honors over to you.
Okay,
to introduce, Mr. Marshall.
Right. Well, tonight joining us in the cave is Jason Marshall, Mr. Marshall himself. who has his own comedy podcast, and its name is We Don't Have Cookies. So welcome, Jason.
Hey, thanks for introducing me, man. I was kind of hoping that you would introduce me as the award-winning Jason Marshall. But
That as well.
Oh yeah, and
award-winning, because we haven't won anything here. We've been at this for years and we haven't won shit.
I'm very proud of this award. That's why I always try to bring it up. At the Dayton Mall in 1978, I was giving the Cutest Baby Award.
Nice. Well, you're the same as my wife. You're just a young chap. So, Jason, I listened to your show, and I want to talk about the move in a minute, but because that's a major event in anyone's life. But where did you come up with the name We Don't Have Cookies?
Well, I wanted to do a podcast for a very long time. I kept putting it off. So one day, one of the biggest things was trying to figure out the name. I sat around, wrote a bunch down, and then I went through, figured out what names were taken as far as the URLs go.
And you couldn't get Cave Crew Radio, which really sucked.
Yeah, that was at the top of the list. And that's how I found out about the show. And once I narrowed it down, sent a couple of tweets out and a few text messages and asked everybody which of those names that they liked best. And that's how it happened.
And I like that because I don't know. We Big B and I were talking about neighbors earlier, and we're like, neighbors, well, in our case, offer beers and hot dogs and shit. But it's great to say, like, if someone goes to Jason's house, by the way, you're welcome to a cup of tea, but I ain't got fucking cookies. So go fuck yourself.
Now, what tell us about your show, because I'm not very familiar with your show.
Basically, it's a platform for older middle-aged Black women to come together and just talk about whatever's on their mind.
Gotta be.
Oh shit! I vomited in my mouth and choked on my beer. I don't think that's ever happened on air.
It's usually just me and a couple of local comedians. Sometimes I get other guests from different places, and we just sit around, talk about some strange news stories and life in general.
Nice.
So you'll fit in well here.
Yeah, and I was listening to the last show, and you guys were talking about how much you like Metallica, and one of my former guests actually surfs with the bassist from Metallica.
Nice. Not the dead guy, right? The one that's alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not Cliff. That would be sick.
The zombie thing.
It's zombie Cliff Burton.
Oh, shit.
Great.
That was rude. I apologize. Anyway, go ahead, Jason. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was pretty much the end of that. I just thought it was interesting that that somebody I knew was hanging out with a band that I love.
Now
you don't find that very often.
Yeah.
You fucking told me last week you know the guy from the Cars. It's like my neighbor and I were outside last weekend listening to the greatest hits of the Cars, and you can't introduce me to that fucker.
I don't see him anymore.
It's probably
I used to see him every fucking day wandering around the neighborhood where I work, but I don't see him anymore.
Anyway, back to Jim. Sorry, Big B irritates the shit out of me, by the way. I'm just teasing, folks. So you're the one-man show, though. You've got what's her name, Big Mama or something that comes on.
Oh, yeah, Mama Kate.
Yeah,
yeah, she's a lot of fun to have on the show.
Now she's not your personal Big Mama. You're not greasing the piggy or anything like that.
No. No, she's got 6 kids by another guy. So
yeah, I don't want to get in there. You could go scuba diving up there.
Jason,
That's
is she a comedian?
Yeah.
Oh, she is a comedian. Sorry.
That's how we met. We did a show together one night, and I left the place.
I'd often wondered whether she was a comedian, and I wondered how she got time to do any gigs with all those kids she's got.
Yeah, that was one of her problems with comedy is when you get involved, one of the things you have to do is hang out at the clubs and watch everybody set, and then you have to hang out after and talk to everybody for an hour or two. And when you got kids and you're married, that's hard to do.
Yeah.
Especially with traveling on top of that, it's almost impossible.
So now this is really interesting. I always find this really fascinating because Stu, you and I, we cue this up, we do the show, but Big D, we've talked a lot about it with him about traveling and the broken down van and you know, going from one place to another. But it's really the same thing with a comedian, right, Jason? Like I think Matt Vanderpool, that's why he gave it up. Matty last week who was on the show. It's just too much.
Yeah. Traveling is hard. And not that I would know, I'm just from the people that I've talked to. That makes it hard. And for me, between that and the nerves getting on stage, it's a lot easier for me to just podcast from my house and talk to the people that I've met along the way than it is to just go do a show and perform in front of a lot of people who may or may not have wanted to even see you that night. Because a lot of these shows are at bars and things like that, and it makes it kind of rough.
You know, and listen, like when a joke like fails,
mm-hmm.
or like maybe in maybe like, you know, someone breaks a string, or at least I'm here. I'm in the safety of my cave. I really don't care if you like me or not. I'm going to keep doing it. And people keep, oh, you should MC. You should. No, I don't want to do it. I really don't.
Well, have you guys heard of Eddie Ift or Jim Jeffries?
Oh, Jim Jeffries. Yeah, definitely.
I love those guys. And I used to listen to their podcast, and I sent them a message before I did my first stand-up show. And I asked what they thought about a joke, and they told me I should do it. I'm not sure which of the two responded.
Can you please tell us that joke?
Okay. Well,
just tell us.
What I do.
Let me get a sound effect ready here.
I'm not sure if they were setting me up to fail.
I think they were taking a Mickey.
Probably. And the other thing is, I didn't know that my wife's dad and stepmom were going to be in the audience that night. So that made it extra hard.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I said that I was cheating on my wife one day. And I might want to wait for a second. He can't hear, right?
I can hear, but
okay. I'm just making. All right. Well, I said that I was at home. I was cheating on my wife, and my wife walks in. It was me and this girl on the couch, and I pull my finger out of her pants before my wife can say anything. But I didn't realize that the girl was on her period, so my wife caught me red-handed.
Oh.
And there were so many groans in the audience. That was my big closer. And I should have picked something else. I never told that joke again. That was 5 years ago.
You need to come on the show more. Oh my God.
Now I've
got dogs barking. This is the worst possible show.
I've been to a comedy
in a minute. I'm telling you.
I've been to a comedy club a couple of months ago, not too long ago, where the host was great. The first two comedians were great. Then the middle comedian went on, was absolutely horrible, had bad pace, was boring. The entire crowd, she lost the entire crowd. And for the other following two comedians who weren't bad, the crowd was dead for.
Oh, that makes it.
Oh, yeah, you lose it. Yeah, the
entire crowd was dead. Now, you got to, being in that scene or talking to comedians, I mean, I'm sure that's happened to a lot of other people. They have to say something to these comedians like,
oh, yeah,
you suck tonight.
That was going to say, if it makes you feel better, I'm sure she took a lot of shit when she got backstage and everybody was making fun of her.
See, here's the curiosity I have about things. And this is why I'm always probing Big B on the music scene and shit, because I have no experience. If you're up and there's a couple of guys behind you or whatever, and the one flops, You guys fuck each other in the back. No, I don't mean literally fuck, but I mean, you guys like get angry and.
Yeah, but,
No.
but Big B was professional, so they didn't really fuck up a lot. I would imagine. Is that right?
He was half asleep in a fucking white van half of the time. For fuck's sake! It's because he.
No, when we were on stage, we were as professional as we could be. I mean, of course, there are nights where you fuck up, it just happens. But no, we were as professional as we could be. Like, but literally none of us drank before we went on stage.
The thing is, with a comedian, all these comedians, they're just going up there and it's just them, and everyone's looking at them and waiting on every word that they're saying. So, I think to start out as a comedian must be one of the most daunting things ever.
Yeah. But back to your question, DK, the best thing that can happen at a show is somebody up there fails miserably. So everybody who's on the show can talk shit about them and make fun of them when they get off stage.
So basically,
it's the worst.
Nobody supports anybody.
No, God, no. Why would you do that?
That guy screws up because now I'm going to really look good.
If you go to a comedy show, go to an open mic, watch all these people get up, and instead of watching the stage, if somebody's doing bad, look at the back of the room where the other comedians are. They will be dying laughing. And it'll be some of the only laughs that person gets, actually. It happened quite a bit.
That night, the closer of that night was the host of a comedy show on True TV. I forget the name of the show off the top of my head.
Closer of what night?
The night I was at the night I brought up to him that I was at the comedy show where the middle comedian just destroyed it for everybody else, brought the entire club to a dead silence. But the headlining act of that night was the dude from True TV. I don't remember the show he's on, but he's a funny dude. But the entire crowd was dead. I'm assuming then he literally went backstage and was pissed off and yelling at this fucking comedian.
Yeah, I was going to say that could go either way, where it's just one of those nights where your jokes aren't landing, or they might have just fired him right then and there after they came back, because that's happened too. Yeah.
Now, Big B, let's go back to Big B for a minute. Was there ever a night when you guys are out there, you've driven the white van, you're ready to go, that you flopped? Something happened.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Are you going to tell me that you were great every night?
No, absolutely not. I mean, and that's a good thing. That's the difference. What he brought up was, being on stage alone, or Stu brought that up. Being on stage alone, it's all you. If you fuck up, everybody's looking at you. When you're in a band, if I fucked up one part, I could kind of turn to the drummer and, nobody would be looking at me. They're looking at the other guitarists. Or I know one time, my one guitarist completely forgot the middle section of a song where he has to play an acoustic part. He completely forgot it. We all stop. We're waiting for him to start it up. He's looking at me. I'm looking at him. I'm like, your part. What he does is walk slowly behind me to hide. Eventually, he figured it out, but we're all standing on stage just looking around like,
what exactly?
I don't do anything now.
What exactly is the conversation at the end of that set? Because you're buddies and you love each other and you're on tour, but there must have been you fucking bastard. Something must have went on.
No, there's really in the music business, when you're in a band, you can laugh about those things, unless you break your fucking guitar over somebody's head and do something really stupid. But something like that, if you forget a part, or you really hit, you play the wrong riff at the wrong time, or something like that, that's all stuff you can laugh at the end of the show, because a lot of people don't realize you've done something very wrong. They just think it's part of the show. We're not you learn not to show any anger towards each other on stage, so you just kind of look and maybe nod a little bit, or just do an eye roll or something like that, where you can communicate silently, so the crowd has no idea that something has gone horrifically wrong, and they just think it's all part of the show.
It's like when you tell your kid, when they're going to do a speech in front of the class, a book report, whatever.
Yeah,
you're not going to know if you missed. They don't know what's written on the paper.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to memorize it. But before we go to break, can you please tell me about the time you broke the fucking guitar over someone's head?
No, I was just using an example that didn't actually happen.
Did you ever want to do it?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Fucking, we've had times where people want to talk to you in the middle of a set, and when you're playing, there are two things. One, when you're on stage and you get the really, really drunk guy that makes his way up to the front and thinks he's like, the sixth member of the band, and he's going to be the man, the number one fan, and is grabbing at your leg and trying to talk to you while you're in the middle of a fucking song. You want to smash this motherfucker over the head.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Brian.
Don't ever fucking do it again, Stu. Jesus Christ. How many times I got to tell you?
No, but were you like literally choked up? Like, how close were you? How close were you?
Oh, well, one, you're kicking at him to get him the fuck out of the way. But he'll come back because he's fucking drunk. He's lit. He doesn't know what he's doing. So we always had people, our roadies or whatever. So again, the silent communication, you look at him, you kind of nod to this guy, and they'll fucking move him off to the side and make sure he doesn't come back and bother you anymore. But there's been times where like you play in these shithole places that don't have a stage, so you're playing on the floor in front of people. There's maybe a little drum riser, but then the bathroom is behind us. So in the middle of a set, somebody has to go pee. They're tapping you on the shoulder to move so you can go to the fucking bathroom. Like, can you at least wait till the fucking song is over? You really have to piss that fucking bad. My fucking guitarist is in the middle of his fucking solo. Somebody's tapping him on the shoulder. Excuse me, I gotta get to the bathroom. Fuck out of here.
Just be glad he didn't pee on the guitarist.
So yeah, there are plenty of times when you want to just smash people in the face with your fucking guitar.
Things we learn. Tonight, folks, stand-up comedy and a metal band that, if they had their own entourage, would have made it bigger, and you wouldn't have to play on a fucking floor.
That's true.
It's like I told my wife in our first apartment. If we had enough money to buy a bed, we wouldn't do it on the floor.
Right.
I apologize. You got a choice: the kitchen sink or the floor.
There you go.
All right, kids, listen. You're listening to Cave Crew Radio. We're here with Jason Marshall, and of course, Big B and Choo Choo Stu. And we've got news from the allotment. We've got some stories we've got to cover, and we're going to get Jason's take on all this shit. Let's take a really fast break. We'll do a little promo, and then one more. We like to do a prank call, so I've got a prank call here queued up. And then we'll come back and we'll have some fun. So Cave Crew Radio, ladies and gentlemen, Twitter, webpage, Facebook. I don't know how to explain it to you better. It's Cave Crew Radio. That's all you got to do. We'll be back.
Hey, this is Jerry from the Bad Cop Show. You're listening to Cave Crew Radio.
So you ask me what goes on the rest of the week. Facebook, Cave Crew Radio. Join the Cave Crew Radio group on Facebook. 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Find out where the stories come from. Where are the ideas plugging in? Cave Crew Radio on Facebook. Join today. Don't forget Twitter at Cave Crew Radio.
What's Stock Hardware? Nick speaking.
Hi, Nick. Hope you can help me out here. I'm in a bit of a jam here.
Okay.
My kids, they crazy glued the toilet seat.
Mm-hmm.
This is pretty embarrassing. I'm sitting here stuck on the toilet seat.
Well, let me see. I know we've got a solvent for that, but I think what you're probably going to end up having to do is you might end up calling paramedics.
Look, Nick, this between you and me.
I'm not going to say a word to anybody.
Well, come on, Nick. Think, man. I feel you can help me out of here.
I'll do what I
I'm
can.
getting scared because if that stuff can hold a construction worker up by his hard hat, it definitely ain't gonna let go of me and my ass.
About the only thing that removes a glue like that is acetone.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Ooh, I'm so embarrassed, but I had to go. I'm sorry. All right, now what'd you say, Nick?
Acetone. It's a very caustic substance. It's pretty heavy duty.
What? So it's like a salve for your ass?
No, what it actually is, it's never really thought of it like that.
Okay, and you have that there at your store?
We do.
Oh, well, Nick. Okay, that problem solved. Come on over. Bring some of that over here, and rub it on my behind parts, and man, I'll be up and out.
Well, the thing is I don't want to end up doing more damage that's already been done.
Nick, I got a toilet seat stuck to my ass. You can't do no more damage than that. Nick, you get to see me naked. I work out. I got a 6-pack and a toilet seat. Be like Abraham Lincoln and come over here and set me free. Come emancipate my ass.
The problem is I don't drive.
I'm gonna send a cab over there to you.
I'm sorry, but I absolutely
Nick,
cannot.
you can do this. Look, have confidence in your abilities, Nick. You go grab that ass salve and you march out that door with your head up high, hop in that cab. You make your way right here and set my ass free. Okay.
I am absolutely not.
Free my ass. Free my ass. Free my ass. Thank God Almighty, I'm going to free my ass.
I really think for your safety, it's going to be best if professionals handle it.
My sticky ass is your destiny, baby. This is your job. Every now and then, God sends you a job to do. This is your job. Who knows? I could be an angel. Wait a minute. Hey, I'm off. Okay, never mind. Thanks, Nick.
No problem. Glad to see you're off.
There you go. Hey, I got to ask you guys a question though, before I go into the stories. I've never glued my ass to a toilet seat. I got to admit, but I always have problems when I use crazy glue. My middle finger and my thumb stick together, and I can't get it off my fucking skin. And if my wife doesn't have any nail polish remover, I'm fucked. And
you do understand it has a tip that you can squeeze, right? You don't have to put it on your fingers and then smear it on things.
I know.
What's wrong with you?
Doesn't it? It always manages to get on your fingers.
Yes.
How? I use fucking crazy glue and fucking gorilla glue. I never get it on my hands. You squeeze the bottle. Fucking, what are you doing? Finger painting with this stuff?
Jason, have you ever had an experience with crazy glue?
Yeah, my kid was messing around with the hanger one day, and she was just smacking stuff with it. She was just a little kid, and we got upset with her because she broke it. So behind her back, she was trying to make us happy and fix it. She got the super glue on her fingers. I don't know what she was doing, but she touched her tongue and got it on her tongue.
I've never done that.
It stuck. She came out of the bathroom screaming that she had it on her tongue. And she was so young, she didn't realize we could just take it off. And she was crying that she thought she had ruined her entire life. She was
imagine how she was No, but my kid is always asking me. He had his birthday yesterday, actually. He's like, will you stop being so rough with everything? Dad, can you crazy glue this? That, and it doesn't matter. Big B, I don't care what you say. Those bottles are so little. And there's always a little drip. And I admit, I'm probably being an idiot. when I do it, but I'm like, oh, there's a little drip. And you put your finger to wipe it off the counter. And the next thing you know, your fucking finger is stuck to your shoulder and you're walking around like playing, what's that name? Simon Says.
And there's your problem. A wet napkin. Use a wet napkin to wipe that off. Because if you use a dry one, it's just going to stick to the napkin's going to rip and the ripping piece is going to stick to the table. So you use a wet napkin. Don't use your finger.
You know why? But you don't think about it in the spare of the moment. I'm just thinking of poor Jason's daughter with her finger on her tongue.
She thought life was over.
You know what I would have done, Jason? I would have started singing Alouetta. I don't know if you guys know that song in the States, but you touch your head and your nose and your, Alouetta. It's a fun.
Yeah, the best part about being a parent is torturing them sometimes.
Oh, it's the best. It's absolutely the best. It's like no, go ahead, Jason. I'm sorry.
We were making salsa one day. My kid walks in and I tell her she needs to try one of the jalapenos. And she was old enough to know not to try it. This is my oldest daughter. But she wasn't old enough to know why she shouldn't try it. So I tell her, if you're not going to take a bite of the jalapeno, at least take a bite of one of the seeds.
Oh,
and
that's the worst part.
She had no problem taking a bite of one of the seeds. Before my wife could stop her, she had her tongue in a glass of milk.
I think I've told this story before, but it's like the guy at the bar that's always asking to buy shots, or the girl. I'm not discriminating. Buy me a shot. Buy me a shot. So you order Tabasco and tequila. It'll kill them.
Yeah, I took a whole mouthful of seeds after I did that just to try to make it up to her.
That's the seeds are the worst, folks. Choo Choo Stew is the chef. He'll tell you.
But they deserve it. They've glitter bombed me. They've done a lot. So we do a lot of pranks over here.
I like.
That's good. That's cool.
What I've done is when we have parent-teacher night, we'll go and either get the report card or like some mid-semester update, whatever it is. And I know my son, did fine. There's nothing wrong. But I'll come home, and me and my wife discuss this on the way home. We'll come home and we'll be like, "What the fuck have you been doing? How did you not tell us what's been going on in class? How dare you?" And we're dead serious, and he's on the verge of tears. What? I didn't do anything. I swear to I didn't do. I'm gonna take the Xbox away. You're not going out for a fucking month. How dare you? I swear I didn't do anything. All right, we're just fucking with you.
This is where the car bombers come from. This is not shit to mess with. That is just terrible. So anyway, I wanted to ask you guys. I saw this on a post. Actually, Harry Houdini's nephew. I don't know if I ever told you this. I got Harry Houdini's nephew on Facebook, and I don't want to make light of things, but he's not doing too well. He can't escape from the straitjacket quite as well. Okay. His uncle can't anymore. I'm not going to get into it, but he posted this. There's this dude. You guys know GoFundMe. I mean, his podcast, Jason, you probably know this too. We put Patreons. We haven't even had spit, let alone a penny, be thrown at the show yet. I've tried to sell tomatoes. We've got T-shirts. We've got limited edition Choo Choo Stew mugs. Nobody gives a fuck. They just want to look at us and laugh. And then that's all good. We're going to keep going. So this dude here, on Memorial Day, he gets a speeding ticket. All right, hang on a minute. I got it. So on Memorial Day, I was driving to work in my Honda Civic at 9:40, trying to get there by 10 a.m. because I don't enjoy getting fired. As I was driving there, some dumbass Mustang passed me, going around 80, flipping me off. So he was shooting him the finger, I guess. I wasn't going to be a pussy and lose to a Mustang on Freedom Day. So I kissed my USA lanyard and my picture of Stone Cold Steve Austin. I fucking love this shit. And the best damn wrestler of all time, if he hasn't told you. And he started bearing his bald eagle piss. So he passed the Mustang. He started to turn up his Van Halen CD as he was slowing down to tell the Mustang to eat shit. This is why I love the guy, because I do the same thing. I'd stop, tell him, eat fucking shit, buddy. A patrolman pulled up behind him, and he ended up getting a ticket. So I'm not going to blah, blah, blah the whole article. I can put the link up for you people to listen to. This guy has started a GoFundMe, or it is a GoFundMe for a speeding ticket. He was asking for $500. He said the money donated is going to go towards his ticket because he spent all his paycheck on race car parts on a fucking Honda. Any extra money, if I'm lucky, will go back towards AC/DC CDs and Bud Light. And listen, this guy with a $500 goal at this current time has $2,240. You know what my question is, Big B, right?
What's that?
Why don't we come up with this shit for these other people?
Well, I mean,
we always beat us to the fucking punch.
I'm sure we could have Choo Choo Stew spin a yarn on GoFundMe and come up with something interesting where we could get money. Whether it has to do with some allotment stuff, so we need more of the black stuff, something.
And this dude, by the way, Jason, is from Grove City, Ohio. I don't know how close he is to you.
About an hour or so away.
Motherfucker. In his race car Honda. But here's the deal, kids, and I know none of you ever take us seriously. If we come up with a GoFundMe, and we should, something with Choo Choo Stew, we will donate every single penny somewhere. Because $2,240 ain't going to make me retire, so I might get a new USB mixer or something like that. But in all seriousness, we need to do something on GoFundMe with Choo Choo Stew and the allotment and make $5,000 and donate it to, I don't know, what's that Paris thing that went on today?
What Paris thing?
I don't know. Trump was canceling something. Yeah.
Oh no, that's the agreement.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'll set it up and make sure the money gets to the right place.
We need a very sad story about the allotment and something. Either we need a new shed or black stuff, or there has to be a very sad story as far as the allotment goes.
Because trust me, there's 4 of us in the room right now. $5,000 ain't gonna do shit.
That's true.
So we'll throw it somewhere. We'll I don't know. We'll give it to prostitutes in Thailand.
I think the lesson to be learned here is you have to have some bullshit cause. It can't be anything meaningful, and you have to punch it up and make it funny.
Do you guys remember? Do you remember the dude? And I think we're going back to Double Talk Radio here, and we had him on the show, Big B. The guy that did the potato salad recipe. I think he was from fucking Ohio too.
That's all we do is just beg for money.
There's not a lot else to do in Ohio.
Do you remember how much money? Do you remember how much money that guy made? He's like, you know, here I am. Give a few bucks to the show. I'll make sure everybody gets a T-shirt. Blah blah blah. Fuck, we haven't had a hit. It doesn't matter. This guy, I got a potato salad recipe, and the guy gets $60,000. Like I maybe I need to get more bizarre about my thinking.
Here's what we should do. I'll block off a section of my property, We'll make it maybe 6 foot by 10 foot. We'll tell people we want to see how high we can get that grass. To donate money, it's all going to go to Miracle Grow. We're just going to pour that shit on every day. And I guarantee you we'll get about $5,000.
I betcha. That's the kind of shit that sells.
That's market that to the farmers because they want to know too. How much Miracle Grow will it take? I'll get money. Let me see.
Grow that grass so long. And then you're gonna have like the Ohio State Police or whatever going, market that grass is like it's not legal here yet. Come on, Stu. The wheels are turning. It's like those plants you made in the and we're gonna go to the allotment in a minute, but
I love allotment news.
Wait a minute though. We gotta go to Thailand. I said Thailand for a reason. I saw this article. Sometimes I don't have enough time, folks, to check and see if these articles are real or not, but they're really fucking entertaining. Apparently there was a tourist in Thailand that was wearing a fake shark what do you call it? Fin?
Oh yeah.
He was harpooned by 9 local villagers. So could you imagine you're there with the wife and kids? We're talking about pranks and stuff, right, Jason? So here's your prank right here.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
So he's like, I'm really gonna fuck up the kids and the wife now. And he's in boom, 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 boom. All of a sudden, fucking Taiwan, these little Taiwanese guys, and I see them as little short, like 5'6". I can't see them much bigger. Throwing these bamboo spears at the poor dude.
Like a scene from Gilligan's Island.
So how was the bloke in the end?
He got hit 9 times. I don't think he's doing anything else too.
I don't think he's doing well.
Maybe you could start a GoFundMe for him.
There might be a bit of scarring. You never know.
The fucker. So hang on. Let's read this for a second. So around 10 a.m., Mr. Smith, no first name, just Mr. Please don't tell anybody my real name. So Mr. Smith moved a few hundred meters away from his friends in order to put a fake shark fin on and prank them. He started swimming towards the beach with only the fin emerging from the water, provoking an immediate reaction from local fishermen. So all these little Taiwanese guys, like Bruce Lee wannabes, from 20 meters away. Holy shit, they should go in the javelin in the Olympics. And they speared him a total of 9 times before they realized their mistake. And what do you think they said? Oh, fuck, let's go get lunch.
What?
In Taiwanese, I guess.
I got a feeling at least the last 1 or 2 knew that was a human, just wanted to throw.
Probably cannibals anywhere. Eh?
Look, it's Ting Wong. Fuck him. I always hated that motherfucker.
I gotta bring a couple pictures up here. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I can't fucking believe that. Is that true? Come on.
It might be.
It would have been on Good Morning America.
I'm sure it would have gotten more coverage than fucking whatever fucking website you found it off of.
I would imagine after the first harpoon hit him, he would have stood up or at least got up. You know?
That's true. You can't get hit by 9 harpoons and still be swimming. Yeah, what's going to happen? Oh, fuck, I got harpooned. Let's continue to swim. Maybe they'll stop. Oh, fuck, here's 3 more.
Could you imagine the pain the poor guy's going through? And do you think he was still trying to hold on to the fin as he's getting speared?
I hope the fucking guy got speared once, stood up holding the fucking fin, and like was mentioned before, like everybody else just saw him and said fuck it and just speared him anyway, just for being an asshole.
Have you ever poked yourself with a needle?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, you haven't, Big D, because you haven't done anything wrong with crazy glue. But you poke yourself with a needle or you're going on a piece of wood and you hit a nail. It fucking hurts. Imagine a fucking harpoon going through you, let alone 9. Holy fuck. Ooh, ah. That's where they came up with that song.
The fishing boats responded to the shark more quicker than the paramedics responded to the guy getting harpooned.
Oh, dinner for a week. They're probably all jumping up and down.
Kidding me? The paramedics were involved. They rolled up. Hit him one more time before we do anything. I want to see.
Okay, folks. I those of you that know us well know that one of our most fascinating places in the world is the allotment. Over in England, they don't have room for gardens, and they have their land, and they make an allotment. So, Stu, up on the screen right now is they are looking for and what a beautiful poster. The current is this trading secretary? Like, what does the secretary trade? Tomatoes?
What's it? The treasurer, you mean?
Well, it's Oh, okay. Treasurer, vacant position. I don't know.
Trading secretary. Yeah.
I don't know how you English people rate posters. So,
thanks for blocking out his phone number.
I don't see his phone number, and no one's going to call anyway. It's not like we have 5 listeners. Like, let's all give the guy a fucking call. I want to
have 52,000 listeners.
Yeah, and I guarantee you, every single person in Canada and the United States is like, "Oh my God, I want to move to London and I want to be a fucking treasurer of an allotment."
Can I apply for the job? I mean, I worked in Treasury for 14 years. I know what I'm doing. Can I apply?
You can apply, and you can use the lawnmower whenever you feel like it.
But I'm not there.
As part of the perks.
Yet. No lawnmower yet. We're not there yet. What's going on with the fucking treasurer? Is he that old?
Well, his wife is not very well, so they come as a duo. So I think they're gonna be hanging up their wellies or whatever they use, you know.
So, what happens, Stu? In all seriousness,
you got to find someone that's willing to do it. It's like anything, and everyone wants to belong to a club, don't they? But no one wants to run it.
So I'm saying, if you got no treasurer, you got no black stuff.
No.
So can I be the treasurer?
I'm sure you could.
Is there stipulations where you have to be a member of the allotment to be the treasurer?
Yes, Big B has Wi-Fi.
Of course, I have Wi-Fi. I worked in Treasury for 14 years.
Yeah, I thought it was more than the treasurer, but yeah, I'm sure you could.
I would love to be the treasurer. How fucking kick-ass would that be if I was the treasurer of the allotment?
You would be like, who's that guy from that year? No, it was one of those Santa Claus puppet movies. A Burgermeister Burger.
Oh, was that with Heat Miser and whatever the fuck?
But he didn't like toys. All he did was get rid of the toys. Remember him?
Yeah.
That's who you'd be like. So
I would love to be the treasurer of the allotment. I'd order more black stuff than they would need.
Yes.
Just so everybody has a little extra.
Unlimited black stuff for everyone.
That's for unlimited black stuff for everyone. I like that.
And if you could get one lot delivered straight to plot 24, please.
Plot 24.
If there's anyone that hates you out there, they now know your plot. And here's the other thing, folks, before I go to the next announcement from the allotment. Stu, tell me about the chair that your wife found at the edge of the street. You were refinishing for the allotment.
No, well, it was in someone's front driveway, and someone was dumping like a bed and all sorts of stuff, and amongst the stuff was a nice hardwood garden chair. So she knocked on the door and said, "Can I have that for the allotment?" And she got chatting to the woman. So yeah, she brought it home and asked me to renovate it to take to the allotment.
How do you renovate a fucking chair?
Well, there's two ways of looking at it. You know, you see these guys on the TV programs where they get sandpaper and they finely sand it down with different grades, and then they'll lovingly give it, several coats of varnish. Well, I done it my way. And what I done, I got the pressure washer out and I jet washed it and then put a load of fence stain on it. So it was a 15-minute job.
And you're bringing it to the allotment.
Oh, well, it's there already. It's sitting there proud as anything.
Oh, that's for the person who's tired of shoveling the black stuff. Jason, are you soaking all this in?
I love allotment news.
Allotment news is the best news all week long.
With fence stain. Now, here's the best part of the story, Stu, and I want to move on to the next part, but I got to clarify this a little bit, because I think if my wife or I found a chair at the side of the road, we just kind of grab it and throw it in the back of the truck or the back of the car, whatever, on the scooter, whatever we're riding that day. You guys go to the door. Say, I realize you have garbage on your fucking lawn. Like, and is this woman now part of your book reading club? Like, it's just, and the wife and her had a great chat about the chair.
Well, they did. Apparently, she went, well, do you know what? I've watched you go past my house for years. And haven't your children grown up? Like, stuff like that she was talking about. And yeah, we drove by there tonight, actually, and just to see if she's got anything else she's thrown away. There was nothing.
Folks, you may not find this as fascinating as I do.
So now
I drive, Big B, I know you have a vehicle, and I'm sure Jason does. We drive down this road, we see it, the old leather couch, the end table, the barbecue, whatever it is. If I'm going to steal it, I'm going to steal it. I ain't going to the door and saying, hey, buddy, by the way, tell me the history of this fucking chair.
But, it just, Stu's not going to he doesn't bring a chair from his house or goes out and buys a cheap chair that he can bring. No, he brings garbage chair to the allotment.
Well, that's what you do. You don't spend. And it's funny enough, because we've got an actual whole suite there, like garden suite, 2 benches and a table already, and we got that from someone else's front garden.
all you do all week long is go around and pick out other people's garbage to bring to the allotment. The allotment is fucking Sanford and Son. It's Frank Sanford's front yard. It's a fucking junkyard, apparently.
He probably slams the wheels on his damn train. Look at that in the ditch. There's a fucking towel in the fucking Thames.
But people throw away stuff that's perfectly good, don't they?
You really do own London Bridge, don't you, you motherfucker?
It's sitting in the allotment. It's next to the shed and the garbage chair.
It is not in Arizona. I refuse to believe it. London Bridge fell down and Stu picked it up.
It's in plot 24.
Okay, back to the allotment. Jason, are you okay?
Yeah.
You, are you?
No, you're fine.
Okay, we just get a little carried away sometimes.
I was thinking of a friend of mine, he's a frequent guest on the show, found a perfectly good red leather chair in the middle of a parking lot. The only problem with it was it had karma asshole scratched into it.
What?
Yeah. He sat in it just to take a picture, thought it would be funny. And then when he got in, he realized it was brand new because it still had that smell to it. So I think he's just getting it reupholstered.
Somebody carved karma asshole.
Yeah. I'm assuming it had to be a wife that got mad at her husband for some reason. I don't see a guy doing that, but
do you not listen to some of the stories we cover? Last week, a woman cut a guy's head off while he had
that was crazy. Women are nuts, man.
Oh, they are. Didn't you hear my wife back here? I'm like, I'm doing a show, so shut the fuck up. I shut the door.
Yeah, I live with 3 of them, man. It's terrifying sometimes.
Make-up sex is the best. Don't worry, guys. Anyway, back to the allotment. I'm going to start driving around, Stu. I bet you're right, though. One man's garbage is another man's gold. That's what they always say. And you have to show us a picture of that chair in all its glory with fence paint on it at the allotment.
I definitely will.
So the second thing, and I'm sorry, Stu, you have to understand, I'm in Canada. I don't know if these American gents and our listeners feel the same way, but people always text me and ping me on Facebook. More allotment. They love the allotment as much as I do. There was apparently a violation of the 1 foot rule. And this is a really good poster. Is this the guy that retired that made this?
Yeah, it's the guy that's retiring, yeah.
Apparently, hang on, I gotta zoom out. I can't read it.
See, I went and spoke to the guy to use the petrol lawnmower, and he said, no, you can't use it because someone has violated the 30 centimeter rule or the 1 foot rule.
Who leaves their grass 1 foot high?
No,
would you, I'm a golf fan and shit like that, but you usually want your lawn a little shorter than a foot.
No, basically what you got to do, right, on your plot, you can't put anything within 1 feet around this edge of the plot. It's not how high the grass is.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So this guy violated the so you basically got about 10 feet, and if you go 10 feet 1 inch, you get a poster made.
I mean, if your allotment is say,
I find this so funny, folks. It just fucking kills me. Remember last year, Big B, when the tree was, they weren't allowed to cut the trees.
Oh my God! Then you're really not allowed to do anything at the allotment. You can grow like a tomato in a specific spot. Otherwise, you can't do shit. You can you can pile black stuff as high as you can, as high as you want, but that's about it.
Well, the guy that runs the whole allotment, right? He's came back because he's spending a lot of time up the hospital with his wife. But he came back to the allotment early one day and caught a load of people having like a communal bonfire. Yeah. And they were sticking potatoes in it and just having a little social. Well, the guy went ballistic. He said, there's no one's to light any fires unless he is there.
Now, wait a minute. Why would wait a minute. See, this is what North American people don't understand. Why were they sticking potatoes in the fire?
Well, to eat them, like put it in a.
We use marshmallows. Foil. We make s'mores. We don't put potatoes in the fucking fire.
Were they on a stick or were they just chucking fucking potatoes in the fire? So somebody has to wade into the fire and not burn themselves and pick out fucking potato. All right, who had this one? I'm getting on fire. I've got 3rd-degree burns. Who had this potato? Is there money in the allotment fund for medical expenses?
That's why that guy needs to be there.
Don't you do that? You you get a potato and wrap it in foil. Yeah. You throw it in the fire.
Were they playing hide and seek? Was it like one?
No, then you dig it out and when it's ready and eat it.
Again, but how are you digging it? If you're throwing it into a fire, how are you getting in there and digging it out? It's a fire. You're not fireproof.
Yeah, just
you're
get
not
it out
fucking walking water. You have to go in there. If it was on like a grill and you're a handheld grill and you're fine. But if you're throwing it to the middle of a fucking bonfire, bonfires are like 9 feet tall. You have to wade into a fucking 9 feet of flames with a fucking fire suit on. Like you're fucking going in a radioactive fucking.
When the fire starts to die down a bit, your potatoes probably done.
That's like 6 hours later.
Why wouldn't you just cook it on a barbecue?
Exactly. Why wouldn't you just bring a barbecue with you and grill some potatoes?
I think you guys have figured out how to make some money. All you have to do is design fire pit potato baskets and sell them in the UK.
Fire pit potato baskets.
everything's done.
Oh, I think we have the name of the show.
Budget.
Fire Pit Potato
Down
Biscuits.
right now. I'm writing it down right now. Do you realize? Look, you are the most. Here's what I don't understand, and don't take this personally, because I think this is a show of culture, right? We try to learn from each other. You guys found it weird when Canadians had milk in bags, but
I still don't get that.
You knock on a door to take a chair that someone is throwing in the rubbish. Yet, instead of bringing a hibachi or a barbecue or whatever you guys fucking call it over there, you throw fucking potatoes into a bonfire.
Yeah, why not?
Load after a while.
Do you throw individual popcorn kernels in there too and try to catch it as it pops?
No, it's just like a little, social thing.
You guys have the weird. So, look, I'm going away. I'm going to watch my kid play soccer this weekend. Hopefully we'll get a nice meal at a restaurant. We'll have some laughs, and hopefully the kid will do very well. On the weekend, is it the major thing to go to the allotment and like do all these, like you've told us about fashion shows and awards and who's got the best bean plant?
Every Saturday they do have an exercise, where everyone joins in, and they might be litter picking or cutting hedges or making a new pathway.
Square dance? Like, what's afterwards? You all do a potluck and square dance and throw potatoes in
No, yeah, but afterwards everyone has a little treat and has a jacket potato in the fire,
See, that would be a good way to get out of a potluck. You just go up and you say, well, I already threw my potatoes in the fire. You're just going to have to wait a while to get them. As long as you keep stoking that fire, they'll never know.
I've got a great imagination, but I'm having a hard time seeing myself and standing there with the family and going, okay, let's see who gets the best throw into the fire with our potato. And how am I going to know which one's mine at the end, Stu?
Well, it doesn't matter. Everyone's, the potato's a potato, isn't it?
Do you go back a ways and shot put it in? Are you running up and throwing it like a javelin? How's it being thrown into the fire?
Just long as it cooks.
Folks, I don't know if you'll support my GoFundMe, but you do not know how badly I want to go to England.
No, see, now the GoFundMe is
actually I don't know even anything about my homeland. I know more about England than I do about Ireland.
We need to have the GoFundMe so we can create allotment potato bonfire best. What was it called?
It was called the Fire Pit Potato Holder.
Fire Pit Potato Holder. Yes, we need to create Fire Pit Potato Holders. That's the GoFundMe, specifically for allotment use.
What if we could raise enough money, and I can go by boat because I really don't like flying, so I could take the Queen Marie or whatever it's called, and we could sail across from New York Harbor, and I'll find my own way to New York, and we could have a whole Facebook Live Cave Crew Radio from the allotment.
I would love, because I'll go. You come to New York and you're taking a boat to fucking England. I'm going with you
on the Queen Marie. We'll dodge all those damn icebergs and we'll make it there across the Black Sea.
Great. I'm in.
Stu, do you have anything else, please? Because it's funny because we don't talk about the allotment for about 2-3 weeks. And whenever we have this little tidbit from the allotment, you have so much more, and you never tell me this stuff.
Did I tell you what the neighbour did? What the neighbour did, right? Everyone cuts everyone's grass. Like, if you borrow the lawnmower, you'll cut your neighbours and all that. Well, I've got a path between myself and a neighbour. It's a lawn path, and it's no more than, say, 2.5 foot wide. So what he does, he just cuts half of it that's from the middle to his bit, and leaves all mine long. I mean, what's all that about?
Well, can I that brings up one more question. I apologize, guys, because I do have more stuff to talk about here, but
I could talk about the allotment every day, all day long.
The allotment I find completely fascinating. You have lawn at home, yes?
Yes.
Yes. So the allotment is supposed to be for growing vegetables.
Yeah.
Why would you have grass?
What grass paths?
What purpose does it serve?
Well, I've just actually sown a load of grass seed yesterday, because the plot is a very big plot. So if you split it up with grass paths, you've got less area to grow vegetables.
Then why don't you get a smaller fucking plot? Like, why would you waste your time growing grass at the allotment?
But isn't that the point of the allotment, to grow as many vegetables as you can?
Yeah,
so if
but
you
you
have a certain size, use it to grow all vegetables.
It takes a lot of time and energy. That's the problem.
Then why don't you get one of those? What did they call it, Big B? We were talking about. Now, anybody, and if you don't know, you need to go back and listen. What was that miniature allotment they had? Remember, they had like the quarter size and the
the starter plot.
The starter plot. Why don't you just get it? Why would you grow grass? You have grass to take care of at home. Why would you want to? Oh, I'm just going to the allotment and cut the grass. The tomatoes aren't fucking ready, and the potatoes are rare in the fire. But
you're not allowed to have a starter plot for more than one term.
Man, you got strict rules. I never knew England was communist.
Yeah. Oh, there's some funny things that go on there.
I want to try that potato thing tomorrow.
You know what? We're not even supposed to have bonfires in the city anymore, Jason, but I think I'm going to have a bonfire and we're all going to toss potatoes in there, and I'm going to see how long it takes.
Well, I cut down 10 trees today, so I got some wood to burn. I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to get fancy. I'm going to cut a little small hole into the potato, and I'm going to put a firecracker in there to make mashed potatoes. And I'll know when it's done because I'll hear the pop.
But remember, you have to throw it from, like, go on your roof and toss it into the fire. It's got to be from a different place. You can't just walk up to it and just toss it in. It's got to be like,
Jason,
from your bathroom window.
Where are you from again? What part of Ohio?
Dayton, Ohio.
So I think Dayton, Ohio, and London, England. You know how they do that, Big B? They should be like twin cities,
right?
Yeah.
And they should have like the annual potato festival and Facebook Live it across.
That would be great.
Yes.
I'll have our mayor call the queen. We'll set that up.
Jason, one more question. How the fuck did you cut down 10 trees by yourself in one? It took me a month to cut down one tree with a chain.
I got so many trees, man.
What the fuck did you use? A bulldozer?
No, just a chainsaw and an axe. I got about 30 more that I got to get rid of sometime in the next 2 weeks.
So how long did 10 trees take? How long did it take to do?
About 3 or 4 hours cleaning up and everything.
Oh, bullshit. I got 3 months to fucking clean the fucker up. I was dead every time I put down the chainsaw. What size were the trees? The size of my finger? Or what?
Bonsai trees.
Yes. Exactly.
You're not talking. In Canada, we call those weeds.
No, they were maybe 25 feet tall or so.
Holy fuck.
Shit, now.
You're fucking everyday's Paul Bunyan.
You should see my woodshed sometime. The thing, there's so much in it. I just have stacks in the yard.
I'm not kidding you. I've been fighting with this one tree. And now, mind you, I got this little electric chainsaw. But I was out there again on Sunday. And I was out there for 4 hours. And I've got a lot of wood, too, from one fucking tree. I can imagine what 20. I don't believe you.
I'll have to dig it up, but I got a picture where when I first bought this place, we started trying to clear it out. And I had a wood pile in the back that was so high My wife stood in front of it, and she looked like a small child. It was insane.
Do you run around like fucking Wolverine or something? Maybe no one else has experienced this before, but I just had a tree that fell on my shed. And I got up and I cut it, and I'm cutting and I'm cutting and cutting and I'm cutting and I cut till I can't cut anymore. And that's one fucking tree.
Did you check to make sure there was a chain in your chainsaw?
Maybe I'm just a lazy fuck.
You can't use a butter knife to cut down trees.
No, it was a chainsaw, but anyway, okay.
Yeah, that's my GoFundMe. I'm going to have a little Freddy Krueger glove with chainsaws on it. Try to make things a little faster.
20 fucking trees in 3 hours. Like, you should be on a fucking show on ESPN. Don't they have those lumberjack shows? Can you run on logs, stew on water?
I haven't tried it, but
you should. You'd probably be making a hell of a lot more money than whatever you're doing.
Oh, I could make a lot more money doing anything than what I'm doing.
Fucking 20 trees, 3 hours. Fuck. Big B, come on.
No, it was 10 trees.
I'm in New York. We don't have trees.
That's true. You just gunned down people. I shot 5 people today.
That's right. I shot 5 people in 4 hours.
I've got my open carry license. I'm good. Guy fucking looked at me the wrong way at the grocery store.
And DK was still turning around. There's this one guy I've been trying to shoot for fucking a month. Every time I shoot, I miss. How the fuck you shoot 5 people in 4 hours?
That's because I'm using one of those things. What do they call them? The only thing legal in Canada is, what do you call a slingshot?
I was going to say a fucking musket from the Civil War. Putting a fucking musket ball in there. It goes 12 feet. I'm going to get you.
I'm packing the fucker down.
Yeah.
By the time I loaded, the guy's fucking 300 yards away.
How fucking awful was wars back then? I mean, literally, you shot and then you'd stand there and packs that you wouldn't even hide. They wouldn't even hide behind trees. They'd just be lined up, pack shit, just a sign, shoot me now, because it takes me 10 minutes to fucking pack another ball into my musket.
Yeah, as Choo Choo Stu would say, Queensberry rules. Wait till I got my musket. This is not fair.
I wonder if like the generals just took all the really dumb people and put them in front. Here, go fire first. Just shoot that way.
You give them empty muskets.
Yeah. Now pack your musket as the enemy is ready to fire.
Now, Stu, in all seriousness, I really have one more story I want to get to really quick, but did that motherfucker really pull the sword out of the stone? Like, give me a break. Who would, and in the first place, who put the sword in the stone in the first place?
I don't know. Maybe it was just set in concrete or something.
So they brought the crews along.
So in 1412, an Italian fucking cement crew came around and put a sword
in the year what? 1000 BC.
Little Luigi came around.
Yeah, got fucking Fred Flintstone running around in this fucking bulldozer. But still, what? Seriously, I'm a big fan of King Arthur. I haven't seen the new movie yet, but did he really pull the fucking? And what the fuck is going on in Nottingham Forest? Because I know that's right by your house.
Not quite. It's a long way away.
But was there really a guy named Hood? And why would his mom call him Robin if he was supposed to be so bad?
I don't know. But yeah, Robin Hood, yeah.
You call him Bruno, or I don't know, Morgatai or something. Fucking Robin.
One thing they do over there. Oh, go ahead.
No, Jason, please. I'm losing my steam right now.
One thing they do over there that I really like, and the reason I thought of this is Choo Choo Stu is supposed to be on the podcast sometime to do a thing that we call martial law. It's him versus Mama Kate. She's angry he didn't follow her immediately on Twitter. So She's bringing him in. And
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let's schedule this right now. I mean, Stu's on a weird schedule, but
no, he's got my dates and times. He knows when I'm available.
Why didn't you follow Mama Cass or whatever the fuck she is?
Well, because I
She's
didn't
dead.
notice.
Mama Cass is dead. She had a sandwich and died.
Hey, Jason, can we get Mama on the show?
Probably. I would have to get with her just to make sure she's available.
Yeah, we got to get Mama on the show, and she can confront Choo Choo Stu right here.
She's putting her 6 kids to bed at this time of night.
Yeah, that might be a little rough. But I was talking to her about doing the martial law episode, and I want to get one of those wigs that the judges wear in the UK. I think those are badass, and we need to bring those back in America.
Well, your president wears a pretty funny wig right now.
I want to see a Supreme Court full of people wearing white wigs.
How fucking great would that be to fucking see Ruth Bader Ginsburg fucking in a white wig, or Sonia Sotomayor wearing a stupid fucking wig?
You want a job for life? You have to wear this wig.
You have to wear the wig and shut up.
I'm sure we can sort you out with a wig and a gown or something, Jason.
Listen, I've always wanted to fuck the law, so I put one on my wife and bang the shit out of that person with a wig on.
I want to know where do those wigs come from? Because it's not like you can go buy them on fucking eBay. Where does Parliament get all those wigs from?
That's a very good question, Stu. How do you make those wigs? And don't tell me at the allotment you're or something.
There is a shop in London that specializes in judges' wigs. Well, and they do gowns as well, but they specialize in the wigs, and they're made from, I think they're made from horsehair.
Okay, listen, you have a very special assignment for next week. You need to research and explain to us where these get off your fucking phone.
He's taking notes. He's taking notes for his assignment.
Anyway, you need to tell us, because Jason came. I'm fascinated by those wigs too. I think it would be, look, these men are wearing like onesies and these sparkly pants that we see in Cave Crew Radio on Facebook. I think we should all get, Stu, we need you to send us all one of those wigs.
Okay. Do I start a GoFundMe for this?
I'll pay.
Well, yeah. Well, that's a question now. You said there's a shop in London that specializes in judges' wigs, the white wigs. Can anybody go in there and buy a wig?
I believe.
Any jack. Yeah. So little Tony, who's running a lemonade stand on the corner of 5th and Main, can go buy a judge wig.
But why would he want to?
Well, I'm just saying.
Why wouldn't he is the question.
But they're very expensive, They cost hundreds of pounds unless you go on eBay.
Well, how much are they on eBay? Get on that fucking phone. There's one. How much is that?
Wait, I gotta pull that up. Leave that up, Stu. I didn't see that.
£5.69.
Well, so £5.69 is about $15. I could see Jason Marshall cutting down trees.
I usually wear a coonskin
Yes,
hat.
I have to have that.
Never mind Daniel Boone, Jason Marshall. You need a fucking you need a judges. I love it.
I would like to cut a tree down wearing that.
And it's and if you look, Big B, at the top of the screen, it's one of 6.
So you know what that means? It's £5. So that's what that's like $8 US. That's probably like 52,000 Canadian dollars.
No, it's not that much. Give me a break. It's like $1.70.
So that means we all have to buy these wigs and come onto the show.
One. I want to go out as Halloween. Now that Jason brought this up, for Halloween this year, wherever I go, even if I'm just handing out candy, I want to dress up as an English judge. I want to call myself Robin. One more story, guys, real quick. I don't know if you guys heard this. I thought this was really cool. First date from hell. Apparently, there was a Texas man that went to a movie, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which, by the way, folks, if you're into superhero movies, great movie. He's going to sue this woman for texting on their date inside the movie. Apparently, he wants to be reimbursed for the $17.31 he spent on this freaking ticket. You Americans fucking kill me worse than the fucking English guy. Why would you sue for $17.31?
Ridiculous.
I just had to throw that in there at the end. All right, Stu, I know it's getting late in England, and I'm sure we're going to be pretty unanimous on this one, but Choo-Choo, get off your fucking phone.
I'm off of it.
He's going to come on next week with one of those fucking wigs on. I guarantee you.
I'll send it to you. You can come on with it.
I'd love to have one of those wigs.
I would absolutely wear it on the show.
Jason and I are going to talk offline, and I'd like to know how he got fucking 20 trees done in 3 hours, because mine took me weeks. And I'm not kidding you. I was working hard on that motherfucker.
Yeah, but you want to see the size of the trees? They must have been very small.
Well, he said they were 25 feet tall.
Or rotten or something. They must have been rotten. Lent on them and they came down.
It's like when you go fishing. You should have seen the size of this fucking fish. or the first time you date a girl. You don't know the fish I got down my pants. Stu, what are you calling the show?
Well, it's got to be the fire pit potato basket.
All right, I got slightly different, but over to you, Jason, our dear guest.
I like fire pit potato basket.
Guess we got fire pit potato basket. I had holder, but okay, I'm going to go with that. But before we go over to Big B and myself, how can we find you, Jason? Because you got a great show. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, thanks.
The best part was when you were talking the other day about your cable. I've had that misery, and it's he talks about normal shit, and it's a lot of fun. But how can we find you?
You can go to wedon'thavecookies.com. That's the website. And I'm Jason Marshall 2 on Twitter. I'm trying to get on here more after the move. So that's best ways to get a hold of me.
And by the way, because when we have fun, we like to say, will you come back again?
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Listen, it's okay if you hate us. You can say no.
No, I was hoping I would do good enough to get asked back. So.
Oh, of course. We'd love to have you. And these are the times we have the best. So, Big B, you've got 2 votes for, and wait a minute. So it's wedon'thavecookies.com. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. And what do you do? Like it's weekly or it's not live, right?
No, it's a weekly show. Usually comes out Mondays and Thursdays. A lot of times it's just Mondays. On the website, I say comes out every Monday and Tuesday, or Monday and Thursday, except when it doesn't.
And is it usually like you, or do you always have a guest?
I always have a guest for the most part. When it is me, I try to keep it to about 5 minutes because nobody wants to hear this by themselves.
And by the way, you have 3 people here that are constantly competing for airtime.
Yeah, I'd love to have you guys on.
Hey, we're all here. I think Big B is 1 ahead of me right now, and it really pisses me off. So
I've been on one show, and I've been on one show for Chris Ripka, and he thinks I've been on 27 different shows.
Yeah, but I've never been asked on a show, ever. Well, sorry, I was on Stu's show, but the only reason he did that is he felt sorry for me.
Well, I've never been on Stu's show.
Well, there you go.
Stu doesn't ask me.
Now shove that up your ass with a fucking hot potato.
Exactly. Stu doesn't bother asking me on the show.
I used to do these shows called takeover episodes where I would go to somebody else's show and people from my podcast, we'd just go in, we'd make our own show out of it. You guys should do that to We Don't Have Cookies. It would be the first reverse takeover show.
Oh my God, you'll never have another listener ever. You don't want that. Just chuck that in the fire with the potato. All right, Big B, you got a different vote, or what are you going to say?
Absolutely not. It's the whatever it is, the fire pit allotment basket thing.
Oh, it's the fire pit potato basket.
That's it.
That's the best I've. You know what? That's got to be. If that doesn't draw 1,000 listeners just by itself,
I think it's a cookery show.
Stu, I need you to go to the allotment more often. The more allotment we get, the better the shows are. Get off your fucking phone. We're doing a show. What are you doing?
He's tweeting out the shows live.
He's ordering us wigs is what he's doing. You watch. I'm going to have a knock on my door from UPS. I'm going to have a fucking gray wig on my horsehair fucking judge hat.
Can we change the name of the show from Cave Crew Radio to Allotment News?
Oh, we should. If we could get him to go more often, I'll say to him, Stu, look, we've been struggling the past couple of weeks. We really need you to get us a newsletter. We need you to go to the allotment. It's pissing rain. I can't go to the allotment. No, he's a good guy, folks. I'm just kidding. Jason, listen, we are so happy. We had so much fun with you tonight. Please come and if you want us to invade your show, we will. But we need to sign some kind of disclaimer.
Yeah, I'd love to come back, and I'd love to have you guys on, man. This just flew by.
It's always a blast. You're welcome anytime. Sometimes Stu says it's too late to come on. So,
okay. Well, yeah, next Thursday's cool, man. I appreciate you inviting me back so quick.
There we go. A double header. Want to do a double header? You're welcome. Look.
I was just kidding about that. If you got somebody else lined up.
No, he really wasn't.
It makes my job that much easier. No, seriously. Anytime you want to come back, I bet you we're going to get tons of good feedback, except for fucking the Stu Cam, folks. Those of you that watch on YouTube can see Stu. He really doesn't pay attention to what we're doing. He doesn't. What are you Googling now?
I'm not Googling. I'm just looking. I was looking at the clock. It's very late here.
No, but late. Big B and I both know the clock is about 40 feet in the air. Jason, next time he gets on your show, ask him about his half a Christmas tree.
Oh, yeah, you'll love that.
And maybe next time I come on the show, I'll have a little more information about Stu's erection.
Oh, we'd love to hear about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that's disappeared now. What happened to that?
If you're leaving, we need to leave the people hang.
He used to have it behind him, didn't he?
No pun intended, but
what's that?
Well, you used to have a statue behind you.
Oh.
You know that was covered up. You was going to unveil it, and you never did.
Are you talking to DK or me?
Yeah, it's DK. He used to have it. He used to have it behind him.
Stu, I want you to do something for me. I want you to take a hot pepper and put crazy glue on it and stick it on your back. Anyway, kids, listen, Jason Marshall, we don't have cookies. I guarantee you want to listen to the show. It's a lot of fun. I had a couple episodes on the other day, and I was chuckling. Cave Crew Radio is the name of our show. Every Thursday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, right here on cavecrewradio.com. And you can always find, I like to let Big B get a plug in now and then.
Before you do that, do you know when you drive in your truck or your car, DK, is that behind your right shoulder? Is that some kind of light you stick on the roof to get through traffic quickly? On that table behind you.
I'm not driving a truck. I'm in my basement.
When you drive your truck, do you do like the cops do? You know, when they used to stick this light on top of the roof? What's that on the table behind you?
Yes, and I play the theme from Hawaii Five-0.
It's got like this red light there.
I don't know what you're. We'll talk about this later. I have no idea what you're talking about. I got no siren on my car.
Yeah, look behind you.
Hello, look at me. I'm fucking wasted. Drive DUI like Tiger Woods.
You know what that is. You know what that is, dude. That's a goal light. That's a hockey goal light. So when
is it?
When somebody scores a goal, the light goes off. It's right. It's DK. It's right. The table behind you, next to the stairs.
Not my truck, though, Big B.
I understand that. He's a little confused. It's very late over there.
I'm not driving. I'm not driving down this. I'm not in a cash cab right now.